Hello friends, welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today I'll be setting up my weekly time blocking schedule to help manage my time each day more efficiently. So come plan with me. And I've got some washi tapes here ready to go, along with this sticker book from Hobby Lobby, these Happy Planner sticker books, and this Live Love Posh sticker book, which I'll pull from. Okay guys, so I've already created the front and the back of this insert. I have the block schedule on the back, and then on the front I have my morning routine. So this middle section is going to be used for weekly time blocking. If you follow my channel, you'll know I've already started using this without the decor just to make sure it works for me, and it does. And I'll go through the steps I take each week at the end of the video, showing you how I actually go about using this insert for time blocking. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and start setting it up in the same theme that I have on both the front and the back schedules that I created, and using those same types of stickers just so the whole 4 pages are cohesive and look like they're all part of the same thing. So I'm pulling in some stickers from the neutral watercolor sticker book from the Happy Planner. I used that as well on the front and the back, and just pulled in a couple of strip stickers as well as some colorful boxes of sorts for the top half of this insert. This is basically just an undated version of my hourly grid layout in my Etsy shop. I used that all at the beginning of the year to do the same kind of process of time blocking, but without being able to reuse the same spread over and over again, which is what we're doing today. So I'm creating like a master time blocking, scheduling insert right now. And that will hopefully help me to eliminate some redundant tasks that I was doing with writing in my day each week after the fact. So now I am pulling in some letters from the Hobby Lobby sticker book that I pulled. And again, those match up with what's on the front and the back. This is an older sticker book, so I'm not sure if I'll have a link for it, but if I do, I will have it down in the description below, along with anything else that I'm using here that I can find links to. So I've decided to call this insert Weekly Time Blocks, and I've also added in this quote that says, "Be here now." Thought that was an appropriate quote and matched up well with the theme, since I kind of need to be in that specific time block when it is scheduled. So we'll put that in for a little bit of added decor in the sidebar, since I really don't have much else for that area. And now I'm bringing in some lined kind of branchy florals from the Live Love Posh sticker book called Beautifully Lined, I believe, or Beautifully Lined Florals. That is what I again have been using on the other spreads, and want everything to kind of coalesce into the same theme. I will say the washi tapes that I pulled are not on the other spreads. The very first one I made was my morning routine, and I used this kind of peachy dot pattern for one of the washi tapes, and of course I ran out. So then I was like, what am I going to do for the rest of the inserts, and decided to use a black and white polka dotted one on the back for the block schedule. And I'm now using a slightly different one here for the middle. So none of the washi tapes match, but that's okay. They all kind of have the same idea of a polka dot in the same color theme. So now I'm just really trying to find good places for decor that aren't going to hinder the actual planning portion of this spread. The area that I'm most concerned about is about a quarter of the way down from the top, all the way almost down to the very bottom, where I have the hourly time grid already mapped out. Because that's what I'm going to be using to actually do the time blocking, and I need to make sure that that is completely open for the most part for that task. I'm also going into some of these other books looking for maybe a little bit of something extra I can bring in. I moved the colorful boxes off to the side because I felt like they were just a little bit much for what I want to do there at the top. The top is pretty open. It has no time slots for the first maybe like 10 grid lines. And in the past, I've used that for to-do lists and things like that when I was using it on a weekly basis. But for this one, I'm thinking I'm going to use it for my daily focus. So if you're familiar with time blocking and time batching, you've probably heard of focus days where you spend certain days on a specific task. So you kind of batch process everything that you need to do on one day versus spreading it out over a week or a month. So it allows you to kind of repeat the same tasks and therefore become maybe a little bit more efficient in those tasks because you're using the same materials or you're using, the same methods over and over again on that time block or time batch, depending on how you approach it. So the way that I like to do my weekly planning is to create those focus days where I'm doing a lot of the same things on one day and not cross-populating all of the other things that I need to do on the same day. And we'll get into that a little bit more when I actually show you how I'm going to set this up for the week. But just know that that's what the top kind of fourth portion of the pages is going to be used for. And I've also took some of the black and kind of peach dot washi, cut it down into thirds, and I'm going to use that as a nice dividing line between when the hourly elements start and the focus areas are there at the top. And I wanted to do a little bit more in the sidebar since, again, I'm really not going to be using that for anything in particular. So I've added some more of those branchy elements. I'm now looking through, seeing if there's anything else that I want to add in here. And while I was at it, I realized I was able to move back in those colorful boxes I ended up not using. I'm going to drop those in real quick. I'm really looking for some stronger black elements for the most part because that is what I used on the other spreads or pages, so I want that to carry through. And what I finally decided on was this circle sticker that says tomorrow. I thought that might be a good place to just drop in something that I need to remember for the next week as I set it up. So like if I have an appointment or something the following week, I can drop in that kind of note there in the sidebar. So we'll see if that works. But for now, I'll just place it like that and get things moved over to the spread. So basically, I'm just taking things straight off of this wax paper and putting them where they were on the page. I am trying to utilize any clipping, so I've already added in one of the clippings as a little bit of an extra oomph there on Sunday. Give a little bit more to that floral branch cluster. And I've moved in the top corner as well. I'm going to go ahead and lay in these flags that I pulled for the focus area. And now I'll drop in the other top corner. I know that some of these stickers are overlapping slightly with that functional area, maybe even covering up some of the days, but I can still read it. I know it's a little bit hard to see on camera, but because I'm using clear stickers, they are showing through, so I'm not too concerned with those being a hindrance with my planning. And just going to go ahead and move over these letters that spell out weekly time blocks by hand. I'm going to adjust them a little bit just so that they're nice and kind of tight. I like that look a little bit better than having things be too spread out, and I think it works well with the style of these letters. Just lining everything up nicely using my tweezers for that. I should have tightened up weekly a smidge more, but that's okay. I'm just going to leave it as is. Everything else is looking good. We'll go ahead and drop it in the bottom corner. I think I want to adjust this just so it's a little bit more contained into the sidebar. Maybe I'll be able to use that trimming somewhere else. We'll see. Just went ahead and dropped in the dividing washi there, and did drop in that trimming there at the bottom. So finally, I'll just go ahead and do some trimming on the edges for any of the stickers that are left over, and save any big pieces that I think I can reuse in the future. The last step will be to actually clean out the holes at the bottom where the sticker overlaps. I'll just use my precision cutter for that with my little Daiso cutting mat. So once I've got that done, we'll move on to the planning portion of this video, and I'll show you how I'm going to set up my master schedule for the week ahead. So I've already made these task flags that I do show in a different video. So if you want to just kind of know more about how I made them, I will link that video down below. But basically, I've put all of the individual tasks I do in a week broken out into blocks, if you will. I have like a master list of things that I do on a regular basis every week, and I take those and use that to time block in this kind of paper format. I've also created some temporary focus day stickies as well. I just wrote on some plastic sticky notes with a Sharpie for now, just to see if this works out for me. And if it does, I'll make cute labels for them and make it look good. But for now, I just thought I would see how this does. And as you can see, I've already pre-planned a couple of filming days, a couple of design days or goals, task days. Then I have a day that's like my errands running day, my free day of, whatever I want to do, go shopping, whatever. And then I have a rest day, and then I have like a home cleaning kind of wrap up the weekday. So those are my focus days at the top. And I approach this by starting off with my morning schedule, putting in my morning routine. I usually wake up around 7, so just put that in on all of the days. Then I go through what I know I'm going to do next, which was working out. That's a big one. So I'll usually put that in on the times where I know I'm going to be going to the gym, and then the subsequent shower that will follow that. Then since I have those days kind of mapped out on when I'm going to film and when I'm going to design, I have put in my filming schedule on Monday and on Wednesday. And then I have more design tasks on Tuesday and Thursday as well, along with goal tasks. And then, of course, any errands that I want to run, I have an appointment on Friday, as well as any shopping I want to do, have that set out for Friday. My rest day is Saturday. That's usually when I do all of my planner setup as well. So I've mapped that in along with some self-care in case I have time for that. And finally, on Sunday, I've got my cleaning day, which is where I put in the major cleaning time. I also work out on that day, and then any other items that I need to fit in. Again, sometimes usually freelance work creeps in on that day, so I have that planned out. And that's how I basically do it. So thankfully I have all of the tasks already ready to go, and you can kind of see how it all comes together. But that's it, friends. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer those. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, to go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we will see you next time. Bye!